Welcome to
BamBam-O-Rama, BamBam-O-Rama, BamBam-O-Rama.
I did have a guy come up to me on the street outside the mothership, and he said, "Have you ever been in a Korean church?" And I said, "No, I haven't." And he said, "Are you a demon?" And then I'm like, okay, first question, fine. Like, I have the second question, am I a demon? At that point, I'm like, and he said it like he believed it, like what he was saying. He didn't say it like, yo, you're a demon, bro.
Right.
He was just like, are you a demon? And I'm like, I'm scared now. You know what I mean? Like I don't even want to answer. First of all, is this a trick question? Am I a demon? And he goes, I see demons around. I'm like, how do you know when they're a demon? He goes, you can just tell by, he said something about like horns. And I'm like, are you trolling me, dude? Like, are you running a bit? I'm outside the mothership. He's a comic. I'm sitting there like, you running a bit?
You running a bit?
Why are you taking my religion sarcastically? And I was just like, are you still running a bit? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you got to give me a safe word or something.
I know. And never, basically he just kind of floated away like that Homer gif when he just like, he just hides behind the bushes. He just kind of like hovered away, like his feet didn't move, like a demon. And like he just went back to another group of people talking. And now anytime I see him, the interaction's weird. We do like the fist, hand, fist, hand, fist, hand. Because I'm going for hand, he's going for fist. I go to fist, he goes back to hand. And then we never shake. We just leave. We give up.
So what is your religious safe word?
COVID.
COVID.
I just, like, I tell anyone, say COVID. If you're in trouble, if anything's going wrong, say COVID.
Say COVID.
It's very easy. I don't associate COVID with anything but like something's wrong.
Right,
you know what I
true.
mean? Like
That's a fair assessment.
That's COVID. Something's wrong.
How often do you have to run into this awkward situation?
Oh, with people?
Well, the fist bump.
I mean, with comics all the time. All the time. Sometimes I feel like a boxer now, like I telegraph it coming. You know what I mean? So I don't go for the hand if I see a closed fist.
Right.
Yeah, but sometimes they'll do like a little audible at the end where they like open up their hand.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? You were going for a handshake
Change
now.
the rules.
Yeah, how did you do that to me?
Yeah.
You know, I do that constantly because I'm go for the fist bump and I'm like, maybe they want to shake hands. So I offer the handshake, but they've already committed to the fist bump. I'm making an awkward situation and I didn't mean to.
You ever do the worst where you actually just grip the fist? Like a ball sack, like you're going so assertively in for the handshake, and they just fist you, and you're just like, I'm just gonna grab your fisted hand and shake it. I've done that. I've shaken a fist.
How did they respond to that?
It's just, like you should.
Yeah.
Oh, like yeah, like just yeah. Oh, like. Yeah, okay, we fucked it up. Let's just, are we gonna finish? Yeah, we have to finish, otherwise it's really awkward. That's a bit. That's a whole bit.
That is a whole bit.
That whole handshake.
Because
it's so relatable.
Clip.
Send me the clip.
Yeah.
That's so relatable.
Right? That's it. That's a good one.
Because we can all relate to it, and especially in like with everything going on. Well, I guess maybe more with comics, but we're handshaking all day. We're fist pumping all day. So at least it'll be a comics joke.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing I'm going to add to the bit. I always think like a handshake is more like genuine, right? A little bit more like personable. Sometimes it's even more professional. So sometimes I feel like, hey, I'm going to go in for the handshake. I normally fist bump, but this dude's bro. I'm going to go in for the handshake. And then I go in for the handshake and his hand's like mopping wet. And I'm just like, yeah, that's why I don't do, that's why I shouldn't do the handshake anymore. Yeah, like you realize like that's why people fist bump. They know that it's like they, you know, that Sure commercial with they didn't do the deodorant back in the day. It's like they're unsure. You know what I mean? So they're like, hey, I just fapped in the bathroom. You want a fist bump from me? You know what I mean? Like, so
I was wondering where that smell came from.
I don't know. There's so much material on like a handshake, but
right.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
You got to write these things down. So do you carry a book? I saw you typing a little.
Notes, 100%. I'm like a digital dude. A lot of comics love their joke book, and I think that's cute. But I ain't fucking doing the joke book, okay? I need backup on the cloud. I need, like, I use underlines for like potentials. I use color changing for separate punchlines. I have a whole coding system for like the formula of comedy, and then I have like tags and throwaways. So, because your jokes can change based on your audience, so you can slightly adjust them for your audience.
Okay.
You don't have to just read your script like
Yeah.
you really shouldn't, because you sound rehearsed.
Mm-hmm.
You should go up there like we're just fucking bros hanging out, you know? And that's why I love, like, one of my favorite comics is Louis C.K. He can just be like, you know, just talk, like, he'll talk, like, you know, and you're just like, this bro's just venting to me, but it's so funny and clever, and then he sees it in such a way we've never seen it before, and then he just delivers it so naturally.
That's true.
Dude's awesome.
Yeah, you kind of miss that guy a lot just after the whole cancel thing, you know. He's not as out there as he once was. And
I watch all of his stuff.
I just miss that
Louis
C.K. used to be everywhere. Now he's not.
Yeah. Oh, it's better. You can just like watch it. It's louisck.com.
No,
I download all of his albums. Like he's got stuff after the situation.
He's just privately.
Well, it's not private.
Well,
it's just it's on his website.
Yeah.
So I subscribe to it and I order all of the clips. He had he's like his special sincerely and his second special sorry. And then during his special he opens with this fantastic joke. He's just like, I got a girlfriend now, and she thought it'd be funny to mail me little girls' panties. Thought it was a funny joke. Mail me little girls' panties. I'm like, honey, that's great. You know, great sense of humor because of what happened. But now I have little girls' panties. What am I going to do with them? Am I going to throw them out with the off chance my neighbor sees me throwing away little girls' panties? Like, maybe I should cut them up in little pieces, like little pieces, you know, and then like bury it in different areas of the yard. He's just like, how am I going to get rid of little girl on the off chance? Like, why don't you just burn them? Yeah, you want me to burn little girls' panties? Like, he goes, did you just hear what you just said? So it's just hilarious. I never thought that like his gift that he got, these panties, he could switch into like how do you get rid of that? You know what I mean? Like,
that is funny.
So
I've always
good.
thought that was kind of Louis C.K.'s style of comedy. Like these are things that generally have happened to him, and he might embellish them into comical stories.
Or he just has thoughts that go like in a weird way. Like he's like, if you go to hell, like you think you just have to like suck a bunch of dicks or something like that? Because what if you go down to hell just assuming that, all of a sudden you see a goblin like with his dick out and you just start sucking it, and but you didn't have to do that. Like what that make you? Like that's so funny. It's just like what you do is I don't know. He just came up to me and sucked my dick. I mean, he doesn't know this was what hell's like. He's got to go through those doors still.
That's funny.
He hasn't even gotten there yet. He's already.
Do you feel like a little bit more inspired when you're watching other comedians?
Oh, 100%. The minute you listen to anyone, you don't even get like 10 minutes in, you're pausing it, writing your own shit. I don't normally write the best then, but it does get you wanting to write.
Yeah. Is that like one of your like juices are flowing moments, or what's usually?
No, I don't ever plan it. I just write when I feel like it. So if I'm watching a stand-up, it's not so I could write. It's just I'm watching stand-up, and then I'm like, oh, I want to write.
Yep.
Yeah. Nothing's been really purposeful. I think when you do that, you don't get a lot accomplished. I did spend like a whole day, and I'm like, wrote paragraphs and paragraphs of stuff, and then I read it back to my friends, and they're like, that's not funny, dude. And I'm like, damn. You know what I mean? And then the funniest thing could just happen out of the blue.
Yeah.
That's why it's really good to be eventful in your life. Comedians that have experiences have more ability to relate because they have more experiences that they can turn into jokes. And if you just don't go anywhere and don't do anything, you don't get comedy. Like, I didn't even make that a joke. That guy that came up to me, he's like, you go to Korean church.
Right.
And he goes, are you a demon? Like, I didn't make that up.
Right.
Like, that just happened to me. But it's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
It is funny.
And like that's the thing. When you're that absurd, you're like, you're a joke now. You can be a joke because you're not normal, but you really did that. And that's what like my ex has turned into. She's been turned into a joke because it's like, you did that? Like, that's unbelievable.
Right.
I find it funny now. And some, it sucks though, because having a sense of humor, everyone has a sense of humor until it pisses them off, right?
Yeah, it really is. That's pick and choose.
It's so true. I mean, I have a sense of humor, but someone could say something. I'd be like, what the fuck? You know? And they'd be like, whoa, I thought you had a sense of humor. And then you realize yourself, oh shit, there is stuff that does trigger me. You know?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any problems with saying a joke on stage or anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I took it out. Yeah, it's a tag. It's not really, it's about gators and how me being from New York and moving to Florida, we're afraid of gators. We're like, that's an alligator. And Florida people are like, oh no, they're fine. They're beautiful. You know, they're more afraid of you than you're afraid of them. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure. I'm afraid of this alligator and the water that we're in kayaking. You know?
Yeah.
He said, they're harmless. And I go on a rant. I'm like, how so? I Googled alligator, right? And the words deadly and killed a Florida resident were the top 2 search results. I go, you don't even have an arm. Like, why are you giving me this advice? Like, and then the tag was, I read an article of a baby that got snatched at Disney. And the lady goes, don't bring that up. Don't bring that up. Don't you dare. I'm like, you know, like if I finished it,
right,
you know, she was just like, so basically I just took out the whole story about Disney and a baby getting snatched by a gator because a baby was at Disney and a gator came up and actually snatched the baby.
Right.
And it's dark, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just proving that they're dangerous to my friend. I'm like, dude, I saw an article about baby got snatched at Disney. And he's like, oh, and he's still defending the alligator. He's like, oh, it's the parents' fault. Shouldn't have had the baby that close to the water. And I'm like, kind of like us right now. We're in the water, asshole. And there's a gator right there. And so, like, it's just my whole bit is a back and forth dialogue, proving that gators are dangerous and him saying, scoffing it off. And then bringing the baby as a comparison was too dark for that lady.
Was that lady a Florida resident, or she just didn't want to hear about dead babies?
I just think that she knew exactly where she thought I was going with it and was just like, no, like, just like stop. You know what I mean? Like, time out. But it doesn't, again, like, you hear that feedback and I'm like, how good is that comparison? Doesn't really need to be in there. If it's going to make anyone feel uncomfortable, why keep it? So I just took it out.
That's true. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's not that good. I look back at it, I'm like, yeah, it's just a comparison of his true thing that happened to a baby.
I like the pivot too, and the mindset in the pivot. You know, it's, I think anybody that has an issue with being able to let go of something that's offending someone, you got something else going on if you can't just let go of that.
Right? Yeah, yeah. And I get that that's still a sensitive topic. Roe versus Wade, just all that stuff. People cringe. I think they cringe at the trigger words too, I've noticed. Like, even if your joke isn't about that, you say it and they're already like, they could tune off. They could literally just say, I'm not listening to this. So you just want to avoid stuff like that. In general.
Can you give us some like contrasting moments between the area that you're currently in and maybe some of the Florida stuff, I guess?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can compare a lot of comedy scenes, luckily, now that I've been in a bunch. They're very similar. This is just more. Like, this is like, I think most people are coming here. Yeah. So if I go to another one, it's like a little pocket of people. So just think of this as like maybe the #1 biggest, then I guess Orlando's pretty big. Robin, would you say Orlando's pretty big compared to Austin? Yeah. Orlando's pretty big. But then there's like, even Arizona is a huge scene, but there's smaller pockets of people. I'm not like 40th on a list somewhere. I'm like, I can pick where I want to be on the list. So, yeah, I would say that just Austin's like just ginormous to so many people, small area. Very competitive, a lot of new people. So you're going to see a range of like people that never done comedy to pros. It's weird that there's that much of a range in one little, yeah, in the same room. Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting to think about. You know, you don't see somebody with an acoustic from the side of the, you know, the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Sharing the stage with Metallica or something.
Right, right. That doesn't happen. So did you start comedy in Florida? Or did you start that comedy before that?
I started comedy in New York, upstate New York. Yeah, it was about 3 hours from the city, so I drive to the city a lot and like do mics there. I started in a small town, and it was really fun because I worked at a big company, and I just basically said, everyone come to my show. So I just had basically the company come to my show.
It's a good way to start.
It was a great way to.
Support,
it was a great way to start because I had a room with 50 people in it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because they all work at the company.
Nice.
And it's a small town. There's nothing else for them to do. There's literally nothing else for them to do. And my jokes are like good. They were like relative to the town, you know, like a lot of them were self-deprecating. So it was good for my first time.
There you go.
I still have it online.
It's online?
Yeah. I was 27, 2010.
Where can we find that?
Just on my personal YouTube page, just where I upload all my vlogs. Yeah. You just sort from oldest and you'll start seeing some stuff. I'm going to
definitely go do that.
Absolutely.
I've had that channel since 2006.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have like a lot of Guitar Hero stuff on there.
Nice.
We were my college friends, we were ranked #1 in the world on Xbox Live for 8 months.
That's pretty cool.
So we got on Spike TV, and that's on there too.
Nice.
We compete against 3 other bands, battle the bands, and we got paid to play at a restaurant, $250 a gig.
You got paid to play Guitar Hero?
Yeah.
More than most bands I know get paid ever.
I've never, my paying gigs for my music have never been $250. I'm going to start playing Guitar Hero.
Well, it was definitely a big booming thing in 2008.
I think Guitar Hero is coming out with a new game right now. I think I just saw that, but I could be wrong.
Well,
either way.
So the part of the stipulation was we had to win. Yeah. So they promoted us on the radio. The world's #1 rock band is going to be at Champs Bar and Grill, compete to win the $250 prize. Our prize is we don't lose. And we're like, we won't lose. So it was basically just like a tournament for $250. They had to compete against us. We're the hook to get people in.
To get people there.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Good turnout and everything.
It is interesting.
I don't know. Yeah, there'd be people competing, but like, I don't know if you'd be more or less for the business owners that we were there or not. Like, because I don't work there.
Right.
I just was happy that we got to do that.
Yeah, it sounds like a really fun. I mean, that's a fun story.
Yeah, and the guys are like, you better. The owners are like, make sure you don't lose. And we looked at them like, we're not gonna lose. Like, in fact, like we just would swap instruments for fun. Because ain't no normal group of 4 people are all gonna come to bind together and beat us. It's just impossible.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I was like, I love drums so much, so I was like, let me do drums. So when we would play, we would just really be just fucking around. We just like, let me, I'll sing this one, you know. And
there's a lot of bands that we'll be watching from back home that are not gonna be happy to hear that.
I know, right? It's like it's like so hack if you think about it. Like these plastic instrument guys, you know, but it's niche.
Right, that's true.
Right?
I saw a guy playing in the subway at New York or something like that.
The plastic?
Yeah, he was playing
That's
Guitar Hero.
amazing.
That's hilarious.
That's amazing. That is hilarious.
Like on that South Park episode about Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
But was he actually playing a game, or do you just have like a plastic guitar? Like
no, they was playing. He's got a TV set.
Okay, he's playing a game.
Yeah, but it's still Guitar Hero.
Yeah, but at first I was picturing a homeless that just is like laying there with a plastic thing, just like.
There's a band from Odessa. Well, at least the singer is called Psycho Stick, and the singer comes out with a Guitar Heroes. Yeah.
There you go. It's a good this is a good nod to like the old lore of the rhythm game boom.
Right.
Because everyone had a plastic guitar in their house.
Everyone did. I think I still have them. I tried to sell them to GameStop, and GameStop was like, "We don't buy those anymore."
It went to a big boom again.
Yeah.
So you could sell it for a couple $100 now.
Ooh.
So they went from being worthless to valued again.
Okay.
And what made them valued is a lot of people are playing the PC Clone Hero.
Okay.
And they need good guitars.
All right.
So they're buying them up again. Yeah, like hundreds.
I'm going to put it on eBay.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny though that something can go valueless to valued again.
Right? It is.
That's
wild.
a very rare thing to happen. Like I'm surprised once they went valueless that a whole bunch just end up in landfills. And the problem now is there's a supply and demand issue for them. That's why the price is getting jacked up. People can't get them anymore. If you went into a GameStop, you ain't gonna find no plastic guitars. So now they're a rarity. And if you have one, it's worth something. Not a lot, but like a couple $100.
That's not bad.
Might even go up higher. The minute they come out with a new game, the guitars will be back in the influx. So you gotta sell this sucker.
I gotta sell it now. I gotta sell it now. Because like I said, I think Guitar Hero did announce that they're doing a new game. I could be wrong though.
Well, a few things could happen. Yours skyrocket even more when the game comes out. Momentarily.
Right, that's true. For yeah, because there's not enough out there, and you need
or
the second one
the
right
controller they make is garbage, and yours is better.
That's true.
So that could happen too. Say they try to get too innovative or fancy, and it's not as good. Right. And you got the old Red Octane one.
There you go.
The Les Paul. That's the best one, by the way. I can rank.
I have the Les Paul. Yeah.
Oh, that's the best one.
Yeah.
What is it that's so different about them other than
the strumming, the star power?
The buttons are like the physical function.
Where the star power button is easier to hit.
Oh.
Because like I said, I got real into it. So that like the strum was the most comfortable, the most precise. The buttons are loose and easy to hit, like the second gen version. Whammy again, very easy to just all of it.
So you said that the best way to write jokes is to be to basically gain experiences. Is that what led you to doing the van life, doing the van vlogs? Yeah, like comics will even say it. They're like, if I go camping, it's for material, not to go camping. So comics would really make a choice to do something just to get material. The other part of comedy is having a premise that you really want to talk about, and then finding comedy organically throughout your life from that premise. So premises are really important. Like, for example, I'm working on a premise that's very global. Like, coming up with a premise is more important than the punchlines. Because if no one cares about your premise, no one's going to listen. Okay. So I want to do one about, like, going to the doctor. My premise is, like, I don't like going to the doctor. I don't want to find out I'm going to die. I rather just die. I rather just like walk around and then just be dead, because I would rather do that than go and I'm like, yeah, you got about 3 months to live. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, well, I could have just not come to you, lived my 3 months and then bam, just die. So it's a dark subject matter, but
could save some money.
It's a dark subject matter, but it's like something I'm exploring, just like being sick. Like that, and then also like not wanting to know even though you know, and maybe comparing it to like a relationship, like you know she's breaking up with you but you just don't want to, like, you don't want to know, like you know you got high cholesterol, or you know your blood pressure's high, but I'm like, I know well, I don't want to know, you know. Right. Yeah. So that's kind of like where I'm trying to allude with that bit.
That makes a lot of sense, though.
Yeah. Right? Like, it's relatable, like,
it is.
In a way where people are like, yep, I definitely feel that way, you know? And then the other joke is like, my mom's just like, oh, you don't want to get on cholesterol medication because you'll have to take that every day for the rest of your life. All right, now take your multivitamin. I'm like, okay. I'm like, do I have to swallow this? Yes. I'm like, do I have to do it every day? Well, yes, you don't want to have to take medication every day. All right, so you want me to take this medication so I don't have to take that medication?
Right.
Is there anything that you've got coming up that seems to be not like your next big thing, but that you're really looking forward to, whether it's just getting back on the road and just continuing, or?
Well, I'm really looking forward to getting to Vegas, because I'm going to be pretty much taken care of for 4 days, wined and dined, and then there's a potential business opportunity with there being a comedy club collaboration with my story on YouTube, and then having that become the end chapter of this season of my life.
Okay.
Like, it basically ends with like, you're gonna have a comedy club. I'm gonna have a comedy club. You know, see what happens.
That's pretty cool.
So my trip is gonna further the storyline and story arc of whether or not that happens. Okay. And if the audience grows big enough, then their momentum will make it happen, because there'll be demand, and they'll want to see it through. You get enough people like, hey, like, you got to watch this guy. He's like, he's going to be building some comedy club in Vegas, and his whole story's on here, and it's going to reflect that. And, just to piggyback off of like what I used to do with food, you could even like kind of sprinkle in that the menu's influenced from the food So that'll be, you know what I mean? But that's something I'm looking forward to. I'm not really looking forward to it as like it happening. I'm just looking forward to getting out to Vegas again because I love being in Vegas and just doing shows in Vegas and then seeing friends in Vegas. Like that's really what I'm excited about.
How often have you gone to Vegas?
Before I started doing the comedy tour, I only went like for a bit in 2021, and then before that was probably 2019. Before that was 2017. Oh. Just usually for work or with my previous relationship. But when I did the van life, that's when I felt like I lived in Vegas. Like I was there for a while. I was living in my van. I had a system down. I knew where to go every morning, like to clean up. I'd go to the Planet Fitness. It was in the same plaza. It was perfect. I'm like, I know that's where I'm going to be when I go back. It's got a grocery store there, a gas station there, eateries, a Planet Fitness that gives me shower and toilet and all that stuff. I can live there. You know what I mean? Like everything I need is there. Yeah. And I don't drain any of my resources being there except for my generator if I want air conditioning, which is the same as running your car with gas, basically. And I calculated it out. It's about, depending on how much price per gallon, it's between like $5 and $12 a night if you run the generator.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to watching it, by the way. I have been trying to catch up as much as possible.
Yeah, it's gonna get even crazier once I get into Vegas. So much happens.
So is the Vegas chapter gonna continue with van life, or is Vegas gonna be its own chapter? You're basically moving to Vegas?
Well, I don't think that this whole idea is very ambitious, and I think that it would take months to come to fruition. During that time from my meeting and following up on more meetings and the development of this idea, I'm still going to be going around because
more van vlogs.
I have to go from Vegas I'm going to be in Vegas until the end of September. And then from then I have to make it to Orlando. So I'm going to be going Vegas to Orlando. That's a long drive.
It is a long drive. Golly.
Well, we do something that we normally call weaseling on this. And that's basically where we just try to get ourselves involved in your life or you involved in our lives in one way. Whether it's, another interview or really the gist of it is more recently we've been contacted about being more involved with a comedy club out of Midland, Texas.
Okay.
I won't say the name just because of where we're at with that conversation, but it's still relevant and we're able to invite you out there because they're inviting people themselves.
Okay, perfect.
So, I mean, if you ever feel like stopping by Midland on that long trip, you want to take a break, you're more than welcome to come hang out with us and share that stage with some of the local comics over there. He threw a lot of names at us that I can't quote to you, but
I'd be there in a heartbeat. Yeah, cool. Absolutely, just to do comedy.
Yeah,
and there'll be no reason not to. Yeah, right. And I can see your stomping ground.
Hell yeah, yeah. We can show you all of the restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
You like Tex-Mex?
Well, I have to say yes because you only have one restaurant, right? Yeah, I love Tex-Mex. No, I really do. I got very familiar with the culture of Tex-Mex with the whole food channel. I think we went to Fort Worth and ate a lot of Tex-Mex there.
Nice.
I mean, here's a pretty good place for for the most part, but it's a little different over there. I will say that.
Yeah, I think it's more saucy in West Texas, if that makes sense.
And I don't know. Have you ever had Del Taco?
Yeah.
They added like a authentic corn like carnita, onion, cilantro, on their menu, and it was expensive, and that's why that would never fly in Mexico because Mexicans are like, why the hell would Taco was expensive? Like, why would I buy off-brand faux Mexican food for a premium when I could just get a whole basket of like tacos or quarters?
Right.
Yeah.
We're cheap people.
Okay. I'll nod at the camera like I'm also Mexican. I just wish I was. I won't even lie.
Yeah. So we've been best friends for a while now.
Yeah.
And he ended up knocking up this chick that's Mexican so that he could be racist towards me.
Oh,
and get away with it.
Is that really? Yeah. That's great.
My son's half Mexican just so that I can make the jokes.
You're like Tim Watley from Seinfeld. You converted to Judaism simply for the jokes.
Right. Yep.
So Adrian, what's your background?
Well, both my parents are from Mexico.
Okay.
They moved over and I'm American, right?
Yeah.
I'd say Mexican to most people.
Okay. Because just off the, first impressions, I would have went Greek. I would have went Italian.
I get a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Mexican was like far from my radar of what if I were to like guess if it was like one of those game shows. I would have fucked up really bad.
We should start doing that game.
Is there a game show?
Yeah.
Guess the race.
Guess the race, and then you bring him up. He's like
God,
Indian. Get him.
Jackson's got like a Viking background looking. He's got like that Scandinavian or Irish or.
I do. I did a 23andMe, and it told me exactly how white I am. 100% European, like 50% British. Like,
Okay.
Said, but he has a pass. Asterisk.
Pass,
Child is Hispanic.
Child
able
is
to say
Hispanic.
beaner.
Yeah.
It did. What's funny to me is how 23andMe has like evolved a little bit, because when I did first do it, like it had a 0.02% other/African, and I was like, what? And then I went back and looked at it. They did more tests, and they were like, oh no, it's just 0.02% other, probably just some other white.
Oh,
that they didn't figure out yet.
I've been to Mexico City, so we learned a lot about mole. And
I love mole.
Yeah, and this is a closing joke that I do, but we went on a food tour. We learned a lot about mole. And this lady's like, well, there's green mole, brown mole, there's red mole. I'm like, I got a question. She's like, yeah, what's your question? I'm like, is guac a mole? Adrian just shook his head. She had the same reaction. She's like, no, it's not. Any more questions? I'm like, yeah, I just got one.
This is what happens when you gentrify Austin. No, just kidding. I'm kidding. No, that's a really good joke. I do actually like that joke. Did you really? Is that yours for real?
Yeah.
That's so really good. That is really good.
But then she looked, she just like Adrian, just like, no. She's like, no, it's not. I'm like, she's like, any more questions? I'm like, yeah, I got one more question. She's like, yes. When the moon hits the sky like a big pizza pie, is that a mole? Usually gets the crowd going at that point. They're like, all right, we're in on it. Right. I usually try to get them to sing it too. But the whole beginning of my act, I'm talking about how I'm Italian. So you end with like an Italian song.
That's
so
really good.
Kind of nice little button on the present or whatever you want to call it, package.
Maybe you should just set that up for expectation at the very beginning. Like before you get all of it started, just like, can I get everyone's agreement to sing an Italian song with me at the end?
Yeah.
And then you've got their promise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that is brilliant.
I would let you borrow my book.
Oh my gosh.
But you think it's cute.
His joke book. His little joke book. I'm like, what's wrong, Adrian? What happened? Oh, I forgot my pen. Oh, that sucks to be you, joke book guy. Sucks to be you.
Can I borrow a pen? No.
You'll just have to remember it.
I'm not even joking with you. I'm gearing up to try it for the first time this
year. You should.
And I am carrying a book now, and I'm not even kidding. I literally switched into one of the Bible, the iPhone Bibles, to keep my wallet and my wallet pocket free for the book now.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I know it's funny and stupid, but it's what I need.
No, it's exactly. It's got to be, you got to feel like it's like being a method actor. You know what I mean? You have to like.
But when you said that, I was like, yep, he's right.
It's funny.
That's fine.
That's why I told you to just get one of these. I got a pen right here all the time.
I used a Samsung Note for 3 years. I never used that shit from any of the notes in my work or anything. I don't know why. Something about digital notes. You don't, but we talked about this. He doesn't look at them.
I don't look at them. Yes,
so what's the fucking point of writing them down?
I write shit down all the time and I forget to look at it. I bet I have stuff we talked about like from the beginning of our YouTube journey.
What I'm saying.
Bet I do.
It's like there's probably plenty of good notes in there.
Probably.
What good are they?
It's true.
But if this thing gets wet,
you gotta. So you like, I would highly advise like if there's an online class or some sort of class, it'll save you a ton of time on your writing if you take a class. When I took the class, I got jokes faster after I took it.
Okay.
Do you have was this an online class in particular, or was this in person?
No, I'm just lucky. My friend Carmen that stayed here for 2 weeks, he runs a class every week. That's where I met Robin.
Yeah.
And she took the class a couple times. I took it a couple times. Once you take it a couple times, you kind of turn it into a study hall.
Okay.
Because the lesson, but it gives you
still worth it.
Reason to be there to work. And then of course you get stage time during class.
Oh, that's cool. So
if you do a real one, that's the best.
That's cool. So in class, you got to workshop your shit?
You get to workshop your shit. If you're already established, you can workshop your stuff. But each class will get you geared up to create a 5 minutes. And at the end, you graduate on the stage at the Funny Bone, which is like in Orlando. That's where like famous people headline. So for you to be able to have one night in there, I told Carmen, this class is severely undervalued. Like
that sounds great.
That's amazing.
10 weeks. By the end of it, everyone's not everyone, but anyone that like stuck with the class, they're performing on the improv. I love those nights because they're all shitting their pants, and I'm just walking around and they're like, "How you feeling?" And hey, what's going on, Jackson? You feeling good? You're like, "Yeah, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good." I'm like, you look a little nervous there, like, yeah. Like everyone's in their head trying to remember their 5 minutes. You know,
That's funny.
it's chaos. And you see some of the class people just like I'm like we all tell them like no more than 2 if you're gonna take the edge off. No, you do 3. You will quickly.
I'm better when I'm drunk.
Yeah,
I swear.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, you are not better when you're drunk. I am sorry, whoever told you that.
I do want to interject this story there. I used to drink on stage as a musician all the time. Some people think it's different. But I would get drunk on stage because my music was very personal, and I was like, it was awkward to like take down this wall and share it to everybody. And apparently, at one time, someone told me about this later because they were watching me play, and they were like, "Hey, play that Beatles cover you did again." And I was like, "I've never done a Beatles cover." And they're like, "No, one night after you finished your flask, you played Let It Be." And I was like, "You're joking." I was like, "I didn't even have a piano. Why would I play Let It Be?" And they were like, "You did, and it was amazing." And I was like, "What?"
Really? You have footage of this?
I don't. I wish I did.
Could be a lie.
It could.
I'm
be a
just saying, if I like,
I've shared that stage with this man after half a flask, and it is not a good sign
No.
for either of them. You know.
But no, yeah. So I get the whole. I don't drink on stage anymore. But yeah, I'm with you. You gotta, if you're taking the edge off, you gotta keep it small.
Yeah, but yeah, and then like the more you do it, comedians like just don't do anything at all because you can make a choice in your career. You can allow that to be your crutch, or you can be free of that crutch. And I did talk to some guys like, "No, dude, you don't get it. I'm funnier when I'm high." And I'm just like, well, that's what you're making it be. That's what you're making it be. And I go, and if you start now, then it will forever be. You know what I mean?
That's a good point too. Like, do you always want to do that?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because now if you don't, like,
I like getting high, but I don't want to always be high.
Right.
or have to need it. Like, you say you got a show and you're like, "Fuck, I need someone give me the
somebody."
Your
I
spinach.
But I don't think anyone's that. I haven't seen anyone that's been that dependent on it. But then again, no one that I'm that close with is like gonna be raging out, needing to get high every show or something like that. Because you're gonna do shows when you're sober, 100% sober.
Yeah.
That's when I stopped getting whatever substance during my shows, and I started doing sober shows. Then you're like, oh, it's not that bad. And then you're like, wait a second, why was I doing that to begin with? Oh, because when you're new, you're nervous. You want the edge off, that and the other thing. Now it's like, even, like, one doesn't matter. That's just empty calories you're consuming. That might give you, a slight buzz 5 minutes before you go up. You know what I mean? So it's just like, why do anything? So usually the best is to just hydrate, to be honest. Have nice filtered water. Like filtered water is the best, honestly.
I've always wanted to take a class.
I do too.
And now that you're saying it, it's like makes me really wish I was still living here where it'd be more opportune to take. I don't think anything like that exists.
Is there a class
where
here?
we're at.
There's not one in West
That's why I say more opportune to find one, because I don't know.
I know there's a 10-week class here in Austin that I want to take, but it's a
the drag queen.
It's a wrestling. No,
That
it's a wrestling class.
What's wrong with drag queens? You don't like them?
I'm gonna. That's a different class.
Okay, sorry.
That one's only 4 weeks. Just kidding. I don't know.
I think Adrian's trying to trap you.
I know, right?
Got him.
He's trying to get me canceled.
What's wrong with being canceled? What do you got against that, bro?
Oh, that's fucking good.
I'm gonna weasel you.
Okay.
Adrian, you've been kind of silent about maybe your love life. Is there anything going on there? Are you single? Are you divorced?
It's been one of the worst dry spells in years.
Oh, so you're going through a dry spell? That's interesting.
It's been like a year and a half now.
A year and a half of a dry spell.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Okay. But is that year and a half of a dry spell of how much energy and effort going into it?
I've really just been focused on making videos.
Well, there you go. Okay. So yeah, I mean, let's say 25% effort of trying.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So 25%, you're probably. I think I've noticed that, like, unless like I don't know. I feel like you got to put in more than 25%.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
So that
Try
so
not to
yeah,
complain
so your
about it.
dry spot. I mean, I would rephrase it to like, so I'd be like, hey, so Adrian, are you in a relationship? "Oh, I'm working on my career."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would
right?
sound
Yeah.
more sophisticated in a way, right?
Right.
Like I'd sound kind of like I'm serious about life right now,
Yeah, yeah,
but in
yeah.
reality, it's not true. You're right. This is good. Hold on, let me write this down.
But no, you know, yeah, like it depends on what you're trying to, like who you're in front of during this answer.
Yeah, that's
Right. That's true.
Like if you're around a bunch of bros, you're like, yo, fuck women. Like, you know what I mean? Like, right? Like I get it when I get it. You know what I mean? Like that, which
Right.
isn't a lie. That's like, you know, and then it's like, I don't know, mom, you're like mom, like, you know, I'm just looking for the right one because I don't want to waste your time.
Right. That's true.
Because your mom doesn't want, like, I guess it depends on the mom. No, my mom's was wanting to have more grandkids, but my niece had a baby, so she's got a great grandkid. So I'm like, there
wow.
you go, boom, she did it. She did it for all of us.
Takes that weight off you.
Yeah. And it's a boy, which is awesome. It's the first boy in our family. That was all women. He had 2 sisters, a niece, a mom. Now there's a boy. Never had a brother. Would have been cool. Having sisters was great though. It made me like have game with women. Like,
How many sisters do you have?
I had 2. They put me in my place. You know what I mean? They're like, you're
Yeah.
wearing that? You look like an idiot. Our brother's not gonna look like a fucking idiot. You know, I had like a concert band T-shirt of like the band
Yeah.
printed on a T-shirt. You
You're
can't get any
supposed to
worse
wear
than
the
that.
band's T-shirt to
You-
the
you-
show
you-
gutter.
You can't get any worse than that. It's like a printed out image of all of the classmates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Don't
what you're
they're like, take that off. Don't wear that.
No wonder my dates keep going poorly. That's what I wear to them.
Yeah. It'll hurt.
I
It'll
gotta
hurt. Oh yeah,
Star Wars.
that's not gonna fly. That's not gonna fly. It's so weird though. But like you can't hate you have to hate the game, right? Don't hate the player, hate the game. The game is we have to take away things that we might love about ourselves in order to pursue that thing to love you. So I love Pokemon. I'm not gonna bring Charmander, my plushie, on my date. You know what I mean? She'll just take one look and be like, this is a kid. This is a child. This is like, I'm not gonna be his mom. I've never felt less sexually attracted in my life. I've lost the libido to even hook up with this guy. You know what I mean? You just gotta like really, you just fake it, and then once they fall in love, then you can slowly
Bring it off.
you can slowly bring out the toys. You can slowly bring out the Xbox. Like, oh, well, what's this? What's this? What do you got there?
What do you get?
Well, my action figures.
You wanna see-
You saw them. Didn't you see them last time we hooked up?
Last time we hooked up.
Yes, you did. They were definitely out.
They were
They
definitely
were-
out.
they were-
Gaslighting for the rest of your life. All your new toys.
You would just step over him to get to my bed.
What are you
They're on
talking
the-
about? When you first got together, did I not say that I had toys out and you said I did, but they fucking dude.
That is hilarious. That is so bad. This whole game turned into like just cruel manipulation, gaslighting, toxicity. Nope. I'm not in a relationship.
Yeah.
Yep.
Me neither.
Jackson.
Huh.
Career focus.
Career focus. I am dating. I've gone on dates with people, but it
Yeah.
seems to be like we go on 1, maybe 2 dates, and then
And
That's how that
does the dates come from just like online like
yeah, usually
stuff? Yeah. I think that's kind of very common. You go online, you do one date, you're like, okay, we'll do one more, and then if nothing's really like happening, then it just kind of fizzles out. Was it just like a vibe thing? You would say?
vibe thing most
Yeah.
of the time. I would think.
Yeah. You're just like, I don't really feel.
Well, yeah, we weren't clicking.
Yeah.
Sometimes also like
She'd be
not
like, let
to
me out, let me out.
let me out. That's what she gives. Also, not to like always bring it back to it. I'm also like I'm a single dad too. I prioritize my time with my son, so we're only gonna be able to go on dates like every other weekend instead of like
Yep.
super often. And that does a lot of girls are like, I want someone who's giving me attention a lot more than every 2 weeks. You know, it seems like
More than every 2 weeks. Like
once every like. Well, I'm not. Yeah, I'm texting them and whatnot. But I mean, like actually getting together one.
Getting how often would we be getting together?
Once every 2 weeks, for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, that's
For a
not
while.
that's yeah. I get that. That's not a lot. I was in a situation where this girl wanted just like really undivided with nothing but her.
That sounds exhausting. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even mean to be rude about that. That sounds exhausting.
Yeah, and that's what I felt. Like I could be so into her and be head over heels for her, but it's all like don't exhaust me from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think that a lot of it sucks because like after being in that long committed relationship where we ran a business together, we need like guys need our own time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think everybody does, right?
Everyone does.
No, they go. It's just important, right? Space is important, and they always tell they say those cliches like too much of a good thing is still too much.
It's still too much. She was I ruined it with her. She was like, "Wow, I haven't seen you in 5 months, and you couldn't go 3 days without wanting to go do karaoke with your friends." And I'm like, "It was 4 days.
It's 4 days.
4 days, not 3." I mean, and then if you count the day that I picked you up from the airport, that's like 4.5 days.
It counts.
That counts. And I go, and to be fair, I don't want to go do karaoke with my friends. I would, if they asked me, do you want to go, and you were down, I'd be like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I go, I don't have to go. But then after I thought about it, I'm like, okay, are we gonna do this every day for the next couple weeks or whatever? I felt exhausted. I was like, I don't think I can do this. I don't think, I'm not saying I don't want to be with anyone. I'm just saying that like I don't think right now is the time. That's all.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Because just like Adrian, I'm focusing on my career.
There is some truth to it because I'm retraining to do all this. Like this is what I told you, I was a salesperson.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing this.
Yeah.
So I do have to focus. I'm old. I've got to really concentrate on this shit.
No, and I mean it.
Yeah.
I mean it. Like I got to focus on what I'm doing, and it just won't be that fair in a relationship. You're saying like once every 2 weeks. Yeah, no girl's gonna stick around for once every 2 weeks.
Right? Yeah. It's rough.
And then like I can't even get this. Well, I have too many long distance relationships. That's my problem.
Yeah.
You got a girl from Wisconsin, Arizona. Like I'm not near anybody, so I can't have a consistent thing. I'm in a van. If they're like, you should settle in Arizona or whatever at the settle in, where do you want me to park the van? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And then I'll feel stuck there. The one thing about a van is it's weird. In some places I wanted to leave. Not because I didn't like being there, but because I'm like, I need to keep going. So it's a weird thing that you want to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a true Rolling Stone statement right there. And you just got it getting called by the elements of it all.
Yeah.
Well, that's about our time for today.
It is.
JP, we greatly appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
I went on quite an emotional roller coaster throughout all this, to be honest.
You did.
I've had fun.
Yeah.
I have too. And we can't thank you enough for being on this episode of the BamBam-O-Rama podcast. Where can they find you?
You can find me anywhere at JP Laughs. Just one word. I would say like my long format stuff is on YouTube. So if you're like really invested in the story, I'm trying to kind of create like its own show, like a nice package like mockumentary of my life. There's some exaggerated moments in it. So
He just said mockumentary of his life, and we got to show him.
Oh yeah.
No one cares.
Maybe you can check it out sometime.
I do. I want to see it.
I'll
You gotta
send
send it to
I'll
me.
send you the link.
I think at least one of the music videos you're gonna laugh your ass off.
Okay.
Because most people like that music video. But
Y'all make sure y'all check out that movie as well too. Also watch our Twitch streams Wednesday morning, Thursday night.
make sure that you click that subscribe button, guys. We don't want you to miss out on the next video.
Absolutely.
Thank you
y'all.
again so much, JP.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. Love y'all.
Love y'all.